I met a gypsy.
Like, did you put on much weight over that period? Like, what was your body shape like when you first started in China? Were you always kind of bigger?
Nah, I was like, so when I first started, I probably weighed 75 kilos.
Yeah, that's what I weigh now.
And then I started training. I put on a little bit of weight. Like, I put on a couple kilos straight away just because I hadn't ever really done it. Like, so you're going to build a couple of kilos straight away, but then you'll plateau and that'll be it for a while. But then when I came back home and then I broke my neck pretty badly. I broke C1, which is, right at the top, and C6. So I had like a Jefferson fracture, it's called, of C1. I don't know the exact statistics, but I'm pretty sure when you break your C1, there's like a very good chance you should be paralyzed. So I broke that. Someone actually moved a ramp on me at a show. I'm not going to mention the name, but someone, just a wanker, he was a promoter. So we'd already done one show in the morning, which was smooth. Everything was good. And then there was like an intermission, like we were like doing some signings and stuff. And then he moved the ramp, like the up ramp, which was like a trailer ramp. He moved it to, I believe he was trying to get something through. Like he needed to move it to like make space to get something. There was monster trucks and stuff there. Anyhow, and then he forgot to move it back. And then I was the first
fucking retard.
Yeah, I was the first person. So he moved it. So it was at 75 and then it went to 55. And you'd think, fuck, how did you not notice? But from where we were sitting, we were like on the up ramp side, like way back here. And there was like a safety airbag, on the back of the truck. And there was some other stuff in between the ramps. So from where we were, it wasn't noticeable. Plus you'd never think that would happen.
Yeah.
So lucky it was just the first jump, which for us it was just like a wave to sort of get the crowd involved. But I jumped like 75 feet, picture jumping a freestyle ramp to flat, like not having anything there. So I just went like that. It's on YouTube actually.
Dude, find that.
I think type in Jayo crash. But so I broke my neck.
That sucks so bad.
And then that one there, 7 years ago, Currumbara. 2015. Yeah, it was a pretty good one. Well, no, there wasn't an airbag.
Oh.
But I get up. So I broke in that right there. I've got a broken neck, a broken ankle. I crushed my thyroid in my throat, and I had a leak in my heart. I don't really know what that means.
What?
So you wouldn't picture it because I'm walking around in that.
Off, baby.
But I was pretty cooked. I was in all sorts. But so what I actually,
and you just know as soon as you hit the ramp.
Yeah, I was.
Like,
I was in like a bit of strife just there. But so the wanker who was running that event wouldn't call an ambo. So I actually had just a random dude from the crowd.
Why wouldn't he call an ambo?
Oh, he didn't want it to look bad. He just thought I was a goose, I think. But someone from the crowd, I'm not sure who it was, but if you're listening to this, cheers, mate. But he helped me load my bike into my ute, and then I just drove to. I drove home, which was an hour, because I wanted to drop my bike.
What?
I was going to go to the hospital, obviously, but I went home because I wanted to drop my bike off so it wouldn't get stolen. And then someone from home, it was a chick I was knocking off at the time. She drove me to the hospital, and then I went to Frankston Hospital, and then I sort of just, I think I went to walk in, but by that point the adrenaline had kind of worn off, and I think I went to step, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in a bit of strife. My ankle was all blown up and stuff, so I sort of just got like assisted in. And then, they did some scans and stuff. Then they sent me to like a bigger hospital. I think it was the Monash Hospital in the city of Melbourne. And then they're like, you got a broken neck. Like you're pretty fucked. And then the other bits and pieces. So anyway, moral to that story, you're asking about my size and stuff. So after I broke my neck, I was pretty, like, I kind of faded away to not much, because I was in a neck brace for like maybe 6 months or 7 months or something, but I couldn't do anything. Like I just could lay down. I couldn't even have a pillow. I just had to lay dead flat.
Yeah.
So I wasn't doing much. I wasn't really eating. I was pretty sick. Like I wasn't really in a good state. So I probably
like painkillers and stuff like that.
Nah, no painkillers. Nah, like I I wasn't necessarily in a whole lot of pain. Things were just super hard.
Like you just couldn't do anything.
I just couldn't do anything. And if I did try to do something, I was putting myself at too much risk, like of really sort of making things worse. So I wasn't taking any painkillers or anything. I was just like, I guess because I wasn't doing anything, I was normally a pretty active sort of person, then not doing anything for so long, like, I don't know, body was just going, what are you doing, mate?
Yeah,
so
if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, so I was just like, after that, man, I probably weighed like, I don't know, you wouldn't recognize me. I'll have to send you a photo. I got a photo of me in hospital when I left, and I was like probably skin and bone. I was probably like 60-something kilos, and then now I weighed myself this morning at the gym. I was 97 kilos, so it's like 213 pounds, I think. But I was like, good 30 kilos less, I think. But that was, well, what's that, 2015. So, I mean, I've been obviously having to go sort of since then. But yeah, that was a pretty average one.
So what do you reckon, like, broke your neck? Like, what part of that crash?
I think it was just
when you hit the handlebars with your head,
I honestly think,
or like compression.
I think it was just the impact of the landing.
Yeah.
I think that's all it was. It was just like that, And then my neck sort of went down, and so hitting the handlebars, that crushed my throat.
Yeah.
So that was like, so I was struggling to breathe a lot. And it's actually still now, like, that's probably the only thing that's really affected me. My neck's fine now. I haven't got the same kind of range of movement, but that doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I still kind of see from that still kind of affects me is the throat. Like I breathe real, like people think, oh, what are you doing, mate? I breathe that heavily.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm asleep. Like sometimes, like, my missus will wake me up. She's like, are you alive? Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So that's the only thing that really kind of still gets me there. But I think it was just the impact of douche, like I think the bike, the bike handled it pretty well as far as the suspension and what the bike could do. And then, but it was funny, the bike had no damage. It was not even a broken lever. It was sweet.
That is wild, dude.
So it always goes one or two ways. Sometimes you have a massive crash, and like the bike's totally fine and you're fully busted up, or other times you tip over in a rut and you got like muffler, subframe, everything. The bike's stuck. Yeah, it costs you like $3,000 to fix it. You haven't got a scratch on you.
Yeah.
So, but like these days, well, any days I guess, but I'd certainly rather the $3,000 than a busted up
6
neck
months in a neck.
Yeah, because it was so crap. It was funny. Like when I got the neck brace off, I felt like, those little bobble heads that people have on their dash.
Yeah.
So when they took it off, I couldn't couldn't hold my head up at the start. Like I'd go like this and then I'd go. And I was actually to be honest, I was pretty embarrassed to go out when I had the neck brace. I didn't care. I was still doing whatever. People would look at you and stuff, but it didn't bother me. But when I took the brace off, I was actually a bit I looked a bit weird because my neck was so skinny. It was really it looked weird, man. And because I'd had my neck, my head like that for 7 months, so it looked like my neck was really long.
Yeah.
And it was super skinny. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, what's going on here? I was like, how do you make your neck better? Like, how do you make it bigger? But then, I mean, it took a little bit of time, but that became
Did you do neck exercises?
Oh, the physio had me doing just some basic, this sort of stuff, but I think just getting back to normal life, that kind of just fixed itself.
Yeah.
But the only problem I really have now is just the range of movement, and I've got to use a special pillow on that because otherwise I get my neck just no good.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.